most favorite quotes is, and they whispered that you cannot withstand the storm. And she whispered back, I am the storm. Welcome to Dreams Don't Expire. I'm just Janae, and we are joined by
Just Brooke.
Welcome. Happy to have you here. So, I love this quote so much because I think it's such an empowering quote. It reminds you of you have the ability to become whoever you want, to become the storm if that's what you want, to become that strong person, that strong mentally, right? Because gosh, I don't know about you guys, but I have had years where I was just letting the storm beat me up. I didn't have an idea that I could become the storm, that I could choose what I was going to let affect me. And I just want everybody to understand you have the power to be the storm.
Or be stronger than the storm that you're withholding or going through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like you get to decide what beats you down or what makes you stronger. You get to decide what meaning it is to you. No matter what it is, you get to decide the meaning of it. And when you are always deciding that thing, whether it's the rain, whatever it is going to win, you are choosing to let something be the better. And you don't have to. That is a choice. And I never used to believe it was. I just thought this is life and you have to deal with it. But the minute you start understanding that you get to decide what takes you down, now it doesn't mean you aren't going to go through hard, because it's going to hit you, whether you want it to or not. And we know we've been through hard. There's not a soul out there who hasn't. I just want you to know that your heart doesn't have to define the person you are. It can help you become the person you want to be, though. The heart happens for you, and it helps you to handle what's going to happen next, because you're going to have, if you take the time to learn during it. If you don't, like, it's just going to keep getting harder and harder and harder. But if you say, hey, I keep getting this because I'm not listening and learning what I need to listen. And if you say, I'm listening, what do you need me to learn so that I can get through to the next part and get better? My heart wouldn't want to go through it again, but I'm so grateful I went through it because it helped me become who I'm meant to be. At least this much closer. Have you ever been through hard?
No, not once.
See, she's the one. She's the special. I knew
Not
there was
once.
one.
Not once. Well, yes, I have.
And most people look at her and go, oh, her life has been easy.
Yeah, you'd probably think that. Or it kind of depends on what you, there's different hards. There's been little hards, there's been big hards, there's been, and you get to choose how you go through it. And you can make a choice that changes the trajectory of where you're going. Even one small little decision can change it. So yeah, if you learn, but also you repeat the lessons, repeat if you don't learn from them. So how do you do that? You got to change it.
You do.
You got to change how you handle it and what your next steps are, or it'll keep repeating. Your lesson will be keeping happening because it needs to repeat.
You really do have to say, how am I meant to grow from this? What am I meant to learn from this? And take those lessons so that when it comes again, guess what? You're not stuck in it. You're overcoming it. You're beating it. Here's the thing. You look at people and you think, oh, they make it look easy. Well, it wasn't. They had to go through the hard. They had to make the hard decisions. And they had to say, not today. You're not winning today. The hardest part is making that decision. I hate to say that, but when you decide you're not going to let it break you, that is hard because something's going to come and say, are you sure? Because it's just harder. And you have to decide again, no, it is not going to be the thing that breaks me. And making that decision time after time after time, it'd be easy to give up. It'd be easy to just sit down and say, I'm not getting out of bed, because it is hard. Great. We're going to sit in bed. And then when it gets hard tomorrow, you stay in bed then too. At some point, you have to get out. And you have to say, no.
Usually when it's something hard, there's always something else that happens. And it seems like it's even worse because of you're already going through a hard, and it's that second thing, even though it may be small, you end up overreacting to something that is small. So yeah, if you can change your mindset about what you think is happening and how you can change how you perceive it.
Yeah, because so I had a hard day today. Well, if I don't let go of it today, I'm going to take that same mindset in tomorrow. And tomorrow it might be just a little hard thing, but it's going to seem so huge because I'm stacking it on top of yesterday's hard thing. And now all of a sudden, me stubbing my toe made the world go on fire, right? I am just like, that was the worst thing ever. Well, really, I stubbed my toe. But because of everything that happened before that, the stub my toe just seemed huge. And yes, I'm being facetious. It's not really going to be. But we take a little thing because we keep bringing the baggage from the day before, and we take the little thing. And 90% of the time when you end up just blowing up, it is not about the thing you just blew up about.
It's the last on the stack
right
that you've added to.
Yeah. And usually the person who puts that last on the stack is my husband, and he gets it because he's my safe person that I can do that to, right? That's usually what we do, is we take that person who is, they're going to stick around. You're safe to say that. I was talking to somebody the other day, and they have a blended family, and we were talking about how amazing it is that her kids and his feel comfortable enough to be angry at the other one.
To fight.
Or to even say, you're not my dad.
Yeah.
And come angrily at them. And it was like, wait, they wouldn't do that if they didn't feel comfortable enough to say, you know what? You're not my dad. And for this person, it was because of a loss. And so for a child to be able to say, you know what? In all of this, I know I can say this, and this person isn't going to walk away. That's huge. That's huge. And it was huge that that person could take it and say, I know what it means, and I'm not going to be angry about it, and I'm not going to hold grudges about it, because we often do. And so, yeah, my husband's the one who usually gets most of it, and he just shakes it off, and yeah.
Tell his stacks.
Yeah. And right now his is stacking, and I just want to say it's not me, it's vehicles. So his is stacking, and that's okay. I'll be his when it happens, and I will understand why it happened. But that's the other part of this, is when you're going through the hard and you're having that huge storm, who are those people that show up or that stay? And it's going to surprise you, because some of them will not be who you expect.
Agreed.
And then you find out really quickly who your people are.
Yeah, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly.
And I give that a 10.
Yeah.
Just an example, when my son got hurt, we found out really quickly which one of his friends were going to stay and which ones of his friends were going to walk away, because now that he's in a wheelchair, life is harder. And more than that, it's uncomfortable for them to go talk to him. And, they don't know what to do because his life doesn't look the same, and it's scary for them. And so rather than confront it and be there for him, they backed off. But he's got a couple of amazing friends who stayed on, who stayed through him blowing them off, who stayed through him not having conversations. And so they would reach out to me or my other kids and just check in. And now here it is. Oh gosh, a lot of years later, like decades later, like 15 years, I want to say, and they still talk to him and they still show up for him. That's the people you can count on. And he knew those two for sure, but he thought he had some really good friends, and they bailed in months. It's not going to be who you think it is. There's going to be a few, but there are going to be other people that show up when they need to show up. When you are going through hard and you don't know what to do, all of a sudden, somebody will show up in a way they never have, or somebody brand new is going to show up and be exactly who you needed in that moment. You just gotta pay attention. You gotta be open.
Also, you gotta think about that on the flip side. When somebody's gone through the hard, like,
be the person that shows up.
Be the person that shows up. Have the uncomfortable conversations or times or whatever. You know, you have to put yourself, that's putting yourself out there again with uncomfortableness. So show up to your people.
And that's something you're really good at. If you know somebody's going through something, she shows up with a drink or a meal or just I'm thinking of you, which here's another putting yourself out there, because that's hard to do. She just does it. She just does it. For me, I'm like, oh, I'd love to go do that, but I don't, because then I get in my mind and I start going, would it be awkward? You know, how would they feel about it? And rather than just do it. I'm getting better, but I don't just show up. I have to have a conversation in my brain about 1,000 times, and then I just say, shut up and go do it. But I used to listen to it and not go do it. And so it wasn't that I didn't want to show up for people. It's that my own fears got in the way. And so I understand why. It was awkward for his friends. It was hard for his friends. I understand that. I would like to think I would be the person who would have showed up. I am now, for sure. But I would like to think back then I was the person who would have showed up and said, you're still Kyle. You're still you. And here's the other part, is a lot of those who kind of showed up still didn't treat him like Kyle. And sometimes that was me. Sometimes I didn't treat him like Kyle because I was taking care of his needs, and sometimes got so caught up in the needs that I forgot to treat him like I used to treat him.
Like a person.
Like a person. I sometimes would see...
Instead of the medical side, the caregiver.
The caregiver. Sometimes I was so focused in the caregiver that I wouldn't give him the crap that I used to give him. And I didn't catch it until we were in the hospital, and one of his good friends came from another state and stayed with us and gave him crap. And Kyle gave it right back to him, and I listened to those two talk like they were still in high school. And that was an aha moment for me. It was like, don't treat him like his medical condition. Treat him like the person he still is, because his brain was still there. His thoughts hadn't changed, just his physical abilities had changed. And so that's the other thing, is when somebody's going through hard, treat them like the person they still are.
Yep. I was just thinking, treat them like who they are, not what they're going through.
Yeah, not the problem.
Yep.
Yeah. That was the aha moment, wasn't
it?
Yeah. And we both went, oh, great.
That's
yeah.
it. That's it. So?
We're learning as we go, guys. Yeah. And that's the point, is nobody has all the answers, so let's go through this together. Let's learn together. And so the aha moment is when you go help that person during their hard. Treat them like the person they've always been. And Yeah. And when you're going through your heart and somebody comes and treats you like the person that you've always been, understand what a gift that is, because it is. Yeah. So, all right, guys, go be your storm. Don't let the hard decide what you are going to look like. You got anything to add to that?
What she said.
Thank you for spending this time with me and for listening with an open heart and for choosing to invest in your growth today. If this episode spoke to you, I'd love for you to share it with someone who might need the reminder that their dreams still matter. Sometimes one conversation, one message, one moment of encouragement can change everything. And if you want to go deeper, my book, Rise, Believe, Become, was written for the in-between seasons, the moments when you know there's more for you, but you're still finding the courage to take the next step. You can find my book on Amazon, and remember, no matter what phase you're in, your dreams don't expire. Until next time, keep rising.